All right. Are you ready to do some breathing exercises today? Join me. I'm not. Sean is like, you're weird. You're being weird, Sean. You all know I'm already weird, right? Yeah, okay. That's good, Well, welcome to January. What was that? What did I do with my hair? Okay, so if you don't like my hair, I did get it cut shorter and I am growing a little bit of a beard, but I know. For those of you who are wondering what my mom thinks, she does not say anything. I was telling somebody earlier that how many of you have watched Bridgerton? Okay, so my partner and I have an event this Saturday, a Bridgerton event, and I just thought that this look would be a little bit better so anyways, having fun, yeah. All right, well, welcome to January, and happy and healthy new year to all of you. And without further ado, we'll bring up Jill for the marketing report. I don't know if she's gonna say this or not, probably not, but we were talking in our leadership meeting yesterday, actually, that we had 40 apartment releases in 2024. So what that means is that we had 40 apartments that came back to us, either through a death, a move out, or a transfer to Water's Edge. And I will say this, don't leave here and go, oh my God, there's not room at Water's Edge, because while all that was happening last year, Erin and her team managed it, and we accommodated everyone that wanted to go to Water's Edge, either short-term or long-term. So I just wanted to praise Jill and say that even though we had 40 apartment turnovers, she was able to keep us sold out, and she has a great report for you. So, Jill?
Thank you. So in December, we did have 2 sales. We did not have any attrition during that month, but we had 1 waitlist sale. And actually, I think I see him in the back there. Is that Mr. Tyrone? Tyrone Monty. He's just joined our Captain's Club. Let's give him a big hand. And at this time, we do have 4 open apartments. 2 are, and these just came up, literally. So we have 2 1-bedrooms, and then we have 2 2-bedrooms. 1 in Garden South, 1 in Waterside, non-water. We just sold, actually, the 2-bedroom in Garden South that was to be the model. So, which is good, because we find that when we don't even have to put furniture in now. When we just decorate it up a little bit, it sells right away, because that actually was open for several months until it was done. So we had a very busy December. So first of all, I just wanted to thank all the residents and the employees as well, for supporting Toys for Tots. You've made a lot of families very happy that otherwise those children would have no toys in their house. So I think we had record donations. We even had 2 bikes this year. So you should really feel good about that and about what you did for those kids. So I appreciate that. The leadership team did adopt a family. We work with Helping People Succeed. They are an agency that we've been friends with for many years. They support a lot of children and families that otherwise also are really on hard times. And they're all their families have different stories. So the family that we adopted, without giving you too much information, was a single mother. She was divorced from her, trying to get divorced from her husband. And I won't go into that story, but that wasn't a good story. And then the 3 children, and then one of their children sadly passed away. And the the child was only 7 months old. So they're living in a shelter in Vero Beach. And they're really on tough times. So we got a list and we do a spreadsheet, and the family will put their list together for child and for adult, what they want. And we got them everything on their list and more. So, and hopefully we made an impact. So, and helping people succeed truly does appreciate all the support that we're able to give them. We also have the Arts of Living calendar on sale, and they're only $25. They depict local artists in Martin County, and they are for sale at guest services. So they make great gifts, or just a calendar for yourself, and you're going to have a lot of color in your home because they're all local artists. So please see Heather if you're interested in that. And we are having an event in February, so it'll be the 18th, and it'll be in the pavilion. And it's basically a meet the chef event. A lot of people that are interested in going to a retirement community are very interested in food. That's very important to them. So we like to, Erin is going to be doing some demonstrations. So if you have friends that you think might want to come to that event, please let us know. You are welcome to join us as well. And any event that we go to, you don't have to be on the marketing committee. The marketing committee would welcome you to join us. And I also had an event that we did in December, which was the Business Development Board luncheon. Actually was the same day as the employee luncheon. And we had Justine Anglin and Vivian came, and our marketing committee members actually went to that luncheon, and we were able to give away an award there. So I think that's really all I have. Does anybody have any questions? So we do have 4 open apartments, as I said. So if you have friends, now is the time to refer them to us. Okay? All right. Thank you. I forgot to mention that we did have, Erin did a fabulous job. We had the Stuart Martin County Chamber here for lunch today. And thanks to everybody who just turned that room here to accommodate the meeting today. But we had 75 very happy people. They were really complimentary. So thanks.
All right. Thank you, Jill.
You're welcome.
All right. Erin, would you, actually, you know what, we're gonna change it up. Brett, would you like to come up and introduce Allison as our, and as she walked in, she just said, I didn't know that this was going on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I probably should have told her. But,
You should have told
I
her.
apologize. I apologize.
It's all good. Keep them guessing, keep them guessing.
I think this is one employee of the month, but Allison started probably 2 weeks before I did.
Yeah.
And I could tell really she was going to be a strong team member. But don't believe me. Therapy has made some comments. They said Allison is always so supportive for anything needed, billing wise, and they can always call and she will help or find the answer. And the G&A department says that she always offers to help and is really great with residents on the phone. So I'd just like to congratulate Allison for being Employee of the Month. She has nothing to say.
Thank you, Allison. Thanks. All right. Erin, do you want to come up and introduce your Employee of the Month and then make your other?
See, I should learn to stop telling mine what's going on because apparently all my staff in Water's Edge are really shy and they conveniently come up with things that keep them occupied and won't come over here. So my Employee of the Month is Janice, and hopefully they will round her up and she'll be here because she knows they're trying to track her down. But if you have not had a chance to meet this young lady, she is newer to us. She's only been here, I want to say about 6 months now. And she works in our activity department. She's one of our activity assistants. And she came in and just hit the floor running. She's very creative, very crafty, and loves to bring new ideas. Yesterday, she had me out rock hunting. If you saw us along the side of the road picking up rocks, I'm sorry, Sean and landscaping department, we pilfered a few because they just realized it was National River Rock Day. Didn't know it was such a thing, but there's a day for everything, and decided we would paint rocks with the residents. So we might have pilfered a few from landscaping. I'm sorry, you can charge Water's Edge if we need to replace them. I will pay for it. And then I was washing rocks in the sink so our residents could paint them. And she just has that creativity and comes up with this stuff right off the bat and gets in there. Had no problem when we told her we're going to put you on a shelf and dress you as an elf at Christmas time, and got right up there and kept that tradition going too. She's really a joy to have around. Was a recommendation from our MDS coordinator. And we were really, really happy to have her as part of our team. So if you see her running around Water's Edge, let her know what a joy she is and how much we appreciate her. And I was going to say, give her a round of applause. This is her coming through the door, but it's not. She's still hiding. But yes, Janice, we're really, really glad to have her as part of our team. And on another note with my staff, is it okay if I continue? I also wanted to introduce to you Susanna. You need to come out here so they can see you. Good thing I'm not shy. So Susanna is our long-awaited new social services director. Yes. And we wanted to be able to introduce her and have a face to go with the name. She is on the week 2, starting week 2 tomorrow officially, and also has hit the floor running. She does come with us some experience and has really, jumped in head first and going. And I'm really happy to have her as part of the team too. Takes a lot off of my plate and she's doing good. I'm going to give her a couple minutes to tell you about herself.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Susanna. I will give you guys the same little introduction I gave my peers the other day because I don't know what else to say. But my name is Susanna. I am the new social worker. I graduated with my master's degree in 2020 from FAU. I'm from New York. I'm from Yonkers, New York, Westchester. Anybody here? All right. Yes, I was born and raised. I've been here in Florida for about 5 years now. I live in Port St. Lucie. And I just got married in June. So, yeah. And I just went on my honeymoon not that long ago. We went to Costa Rica. It was great. So, and yeah, I know I look like I'm 15. I'm 27 years old. But I hope to, provide as much support to you guys as possible. I know I'm in Water's Edge, but you guys can always come bother me if you need anything or ring me up, and we'll be more than happy to help you guys with anything you need. So that's me. So I hope you guys, I hope to see you guys, and I hope you guys bother me. Thank you.
Hey, Erin, just for the residents' perspective, could you share with the residents, like, when they might deal with Susanna from being in Water's Edge or discharge, and how Susanna works with Shauna as our health and wellness navigator?
Sure. I personally, I like to say, and I think my fellow social workers in the room, because for those that are not aware, I'm also an MSW. A social worker is really not a degree or a course or anything. It really is a part of who we are. When you take that travel, it's as much a part of who you are as a person. As it is a job or a task or a role. And it's really kind of a jack of all trades, but really where Susanna is going to come into play with Water's Edge is often You're going to start with your admission. She's going to coordinate with our healthcare navigator with Shauna and, learn about you and help make sure that we have a good understanding of who you are, what your needs are from the get-go, because proper discharge planning should start from the get-go, get-go, not get-go or GEICO. And working on that and making sure that we have those needs in place to set up for your transition as we're there. She's going to be working to make sure your psychosocial needs are met. She's going to be working to make sure your transition along with Michelle is smooth into Water's Edge, and then help with coordinating your transition back home, because that is our goal. If you need transportation assistance to appointments, she will help with that. If you need assistance with learning about getting onto Medicaid, she can help coordinate with that. If you need assistance with finding local resources, she can help with that. It's really kind of your go-to person with managing your care outside of what I would say is direct clinical. So not your medications, your nursing, that type of stuff, but the rest of the case management is going to fall under Susanna. So any questions on that? Anything you think I forgot I should throw in there? Yeah. She'll also oversee your grievances. She's our grievance coordinator. You can come to any of us, but she does oversee and help coordinate. Doesn't mean she will, in and of herself, resolve everything, but she will help coordinate it. So if you have a concern or something's going on, you can go to her and she will fix it if she can, and or involve the appropriate parties and make sure I'm aware, make sure Maureen's aware, so that we can correct any issues that need to be. And then she also tracks and trends, that type of stuff as well. So,
Great.
all right.
All right. Do you want to give any other Water
I can give the Water's Edge updates while I'm here too. We, are now into our new year, and our survey window remains open. So we're doing a lot of preparation to make sure we're ready for when they show up. We had our mock survey, and we're working through follow up on that. We have the life safety mock survey coming up this month. Next week? Next week. So we'll be going through that. That'll be focusing on more, what it says, life safety, fire codes, building codes, those type of things, making sure we're compliant with that. So we'll be going through those processes. I know this is very exciting for many who have asked. The lighting in the resident rooms is being started to go into place. I am already getting prepared for some people who may say it's too bright. That is how much brighter it is. And I think it's wonderful. It will make it much easier, better for staff providing care to be able to see. It'll be able to see navigating around the rooms. And for those that do feel it's too bright, they can choose to not have the bottom part on and just have the top dimmer part on. And then we also still have lights beside the beds and stuff that we can do as well. So we do have options there, but it is much brighter, much more current for those that help me pick them out. Thank you very much. They are lovely. And the first one went in today, so we can get a time frame for how long it takes and set up a plan for getting them installed throughout the rest of the building. So that has begun. And then the few odd and end pieces of furniture from last year should be trickling in between now and early February. And this year we're going to be working on, I think, the floor replacement in ECC side. That carpet we need to do something with. We don't know yet for sure, but we'll be looking at addressing that. We remain 5 stars. Yay. Always happy with that. And I think that's about it. Just, getting acclimated into the new year. For those, an update, I don't see him in here, but I know this is near and dear to a few individuals' hearts too. The patient portal, we are actively working on. We have been trained on it. We have the process. We know how to get that going for those that want access to the patient portal for Water's Edge. Right now, I have 2 people who have signed the papers to do that. And I am working with the IT department that supports PCC because although I'm told I have the access I should have to do it, it's not showing up on my dashboard. So we're working through those little tweaks and bugs, which is why I have limited the amount of people I've actually given the form to, because I have those trials in place and I want to make sure we have it functioning, and then it will go to the masses that want it. So I have a couple people that are kind of my demos as we work through this process, but we are working through the process and we'll get it. As a matter of fact, I just was on the phone with Provinet today and sent an email to our contact to keep that ball rolling. So I am pretty confident that will be closed up, shored up, and functional very, very shortly. So, and that's all I have.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Erin, thank you. Great update. Thank you, thank you. All right. We are going to move through this next portion rather quickly because we have a lot to cover. Hi, Heather. Hi, Kurt. So the sounding board. How many, by a show of hands, know what the sounding board is? My guess would be that you probably participate in the sounding board. Keep your hands up if you participate in the sounding board. Okay, great. So I'm going to tell the rest of you what that is. So the LCS, Life Care Services, has a sounding board, and it's an online resident research panel that is currently comprised of about 800 residents that live in a Life Care Services community. So this panel allows LCS to gather resident feedback for market research purposes, which then drives innovation. So I have previously presented to you sounding boards in the past related to transportation, related to safety. Today we're going to do safety and security, but we've also done food and beverage. And I'm going to try, this can get pretty boring, so I'm going to try and keep it real here. So I had referenced 800 participants as a whole, but in this particular sounding board, which again is security and safety, there were 443 individuals who participated in the online questionnaire in 2024. Not to call you out, but did you participate? Yes? All right, great. So 65 number of LCS communities represented by respondents. So only 65 out of 144 communities were represented in this. I'm going to skip over these key findings because I think these, this is a little bit easier and larger for you to read or to see. So sense of safety. So what I want to say here is I want to preface this whole presentation by the last time we did our resident satisfaction survey, you rated us a 96% satisfaction in security. So 96% of our residents were satisfied with security. 94% of our residents rated us that the community feels safe, that they feel safe living here, 94%. So I thought that was really good. Those are some high scores. And so thank you to Kurt and what's your name over there? Steve, that's right. Thank you, Steve. So 9 in 10 respondents indicate in the survey, back to the survey, 9 in 10 respondents indicated feeling safe in all areas. Safety and inter-community interaction, what does this mean? 9 out of 10 respondents indicate feeling safe within their communities, including interactions with other residents, staff, and visitors. I know, only 90%, only 9 out of 10, right? So inter-community lighting. So this 9 out of 10 respondents agree that their communities, hallways, garages, parking lots, sidewalks are well lighted. Is that well lighted or well lit? It should say lit, right, Jane Coots, my former teacher? Yes. So this is an area that we do as we walk around campus. We're constantly looking at. In fact, I think there's an area over here by Gardens North that kind of goes out around the pond that we're going to be getting some lighting. We're getting some bids, Kurt says. So we do look at this, but what I would encourage you here as you walk around campus, one, if you see an area that's not well lit or that you have concern, let us know. Bring it to the HMS committee, the Housekeeping, Maintenance, Security Committee. We'll get that on the docket and we'll get that taken care of. We don't want anyone tripping on sidewalks or anything of that nature because it's not lit well enough. Outdoor maintenance, 9 in 10 respondents agree that their community sidewalk, parking lots, trails, and other exterior common areas are well maintained. This is another area that while we do our best to maintain these sidewalks, we're also a 31-year-old community. And do we have trees here? Again, that same area that I was just referencing, when we walk that, you can see where the roots of these oak trees lift up the sidewalks. So in those instances, we have been known to go in and trim those roots back. And I think that's even on the docket as well. But as you're walking, if you're seeing uneven surfaces, bring that forth. That not only goes to the HMS committee, but we also have an internal safety committee that's comprised of members of our team, such as Aaron and Kurt and Steve and myself and some other members of our employees that look at different areas that become risk and safety hazards. So community vehicles, 9 in 10 respondents agree that their community's vehicles used to transport residents are well maintained. And don't mistaken well maintained for older, okay? Because we do have a couple of older Toyota Avalons, one of which will be replaced this year. But I can assure you that Kurt and his team, they have checks and balances on their vehicles to make sure that they're safe. And if there's a little jiggle in the wheel or what have you, that they are addressing it and that they go in for regular checkups. Security technology, 8 in 10 respondents agree that their community utilizes reasonable technology such as surveillance cameras, automatic door locks, guard gates to keep them safe. Now, Kurt, I'm going to put you on the spot here. How many cameras do we have? Or should I ask Steve? Steve, how many cameras do we have? 50. I heard
50 is the correct answer.
50 is the correct answer. Did you know that? We have 50 cameras throughout this campus where there are eyes looking. And yeah, so, and then automatic door locks. Did you want to talk about when the doors get locked down and how that?
Sure. So most of you probably know that for the clubhouse, we're open till 10. So until 10. And that's to give food and beverage a chance to do what they need to do to clean up in the back of the house. So at 10 o'clock, the evening shift comes in because they work 10 to 6. They lock up as soon as they come in. That's their first priority when they get here. So they start with the clubhouse. They work their way from the kitchen side of the clubhouse all the way around and then move into the pavilion, and then the pavilion gets locked. Water's Edge automatically locks. So that's one of the automatic locking mechanisms that's there. It's on a timer. So both of those doors, the front door and that side door that leads to the clubhouse, will automatically lock down. Now, that's at like 8
o'clock.
Yeah, 8 o'clock. Yeah. So, and then it opens automatically also at 7:30 or 7:30. So, in order to bypass that, we have keypads. And certain individuals have that keypad number, and it changes every 6 months. I know because I change the codes every 6 months. So every 6 months that gets changed, and we issue a new PIN to get in the doors, in or out, right? And that's for safety's sake. Plus, if we have someone that's been here and then they leave, we don't want them to continue to come back if they're gone from us. So that's why we change them on a regular basis. As far as water side goes, we lock those manually every night, those doors. Okay, so for a couple different reasons, safety is one of them, obviously. So we also open those in the morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning. We lock them 10 to 11, something like that. It's probably usually around 11 though. Sometime between there, yeah. Any questions on that? Fantastic. That's all I have. What do you got?
All right. A couple.
You would go to the main entrance. Only the main entrance is not locked down. And the reason that's not locked down is because that one has multiple cameras on it that we won't tell you where they're at.
A couple other things. Well, actually, come on up. Do you remember who this person is?
Waterside.
What's her name? Janice. There you go. There you go. Aaron already introduced you, but yes. So you put a face with the name Janice Barker, and congratulations. All right. Now you're free to go make fun.
I did tell them about the escapade you had me doing yesterday, pilfering rocks. So I blamed you for it all. No.
So back to the safety and security sounding board. A couple other things I want to let you know that security does is we have 3 panic buttons around the campus in areas that I'm not going to tell you where they are, but should there be a situation such as, an active shooter or just a situation of that nature, they are positioned in 3 different places throughout the campus where you push that button and it automatically goes to the police department and fire rescue, or just police department.
No, it goes to us.
It goes to you. Okay. And then you call the police department. So they're kind of in hidden, areas, but, as we're talking about safety and security. And then the other thing is we have this really handy dandy, is there one in here where security, as they are making rounds, what do you call that? A proxy. So as they're making rounds throughout the campus in various places, there's a card or some like a little button.
It's a button. It's a metal button.
Yeah, a button on the wall wherever it's located, and then the security will put their proxy up there, and it will let the system know that they checked that area. And those are throughout the campus as well, and that happens throughout the day and throughout the evening. So it's just another element of and if it wasn't happening, Kurt would be notified of that and be asking the staff, why aren't you making your rounds? So it's just another level of accountability. So that's how we use technology to help keep you safe and secure. Emergency preparedness, this really is Audra does this every year. She has to submit to Martin County the Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan. It's called CEMP, but Audra works with Aaron and Kurt. If we didn't have the healthcare center legally and lawfully, we wouldn't even have to do the CEMP, but because of the healthcare center, we do have to submit that annually. But we take it a step further and plan for the entire community, and that has to be done on an annual basis. And Audra pulls that all together and submits it. And the county has to approve it and make sure that we have all of the components. About 8 in 10 respondents felt familiar with their community's emergency response procedures. For those of you who don't remember, Kurt does that training every year in May or June-ish, right before hurricane season. So Emergency preparedness communication. 7 in 10 respondents rate their community's communication with residents before, during, and after emergency situation as above average. I think 7 is a little low, to be honest with you, but I don't, for those of you who participated in that, how, if you don't mind sharing, do you have any concerns about how we communicate? Or do you feel like when there's an emergency coming up, do you feel like we're missing the boat? No? Okay, good. I will tell you, this last fall when we had all those tornadoes, that was horrific for me. I can deal with a hurricane, but communicating in a timely manner for a tornado when you're in the dining room eating and we're all getting these alerts on our phones, it's like, oh my goodness, what do we do? So we might have to think about that if we see more tornadic activity continue. We might have to rethink how we handle that in the future, because that's what drove me a little bonkers. Yes, Sherry.
After a hurricane, it's difficult to reach anybody without lifeguard services, and you have a number there, but they have never answered. And whenever I've left here and wanted to know when I can come back or any information.
Okay.
They never answer, but it's up in Iowa.
Up in Des Moines, yeah. So what Sherry's talking about is LCS does have a hotline call, a hotline number, and we have not had to evacuate since 2016. So I think that was the last evacuation that we did was in 2016. And if you chose to evacuate by yourself, we would ask you to call either the community or that number, which would then tell you that, yes, you can return to the community. Postcard. Yeah, it has changed. They have done some revamping with that number, so maybe we can test that out this upcoming year. Yeah, we're not going to evacuate to test it. We'll just test it, Sherry. Oh, here it is right here. Yeah, here it is right here. Less than 1 in 10 respondents indicated that they or a loved one have used the LCS emergency hotline in the past year. So I guess it doesn't really speak to what Sherry was saying, but less than 1 in 10 respondents have had to use it. So, and we do put that out every year too. That's part of our training. Renters insurance. We used to be real sticklers on this, and it's no longer mandatory, but we do strongly encourage a renter's insurance policy. But basically the renter's insurance policy, it insures your personal items. And 9 in 10 respondents indicated that they currently have renter's insurance. And that's it. Anything else? Any questions? Yes. Jane, I thought that was in your job description. Just kidding. If you are interested in participating in the sounding board, and it is all electronically based, so there's no paper to it or anything of that nature, you can just email myself and I will get you in contact with the individual at corporate who works out of our marketing data research division to get you on the email list. So, and you guys do that once a month, right? Is it once a month? Yeah. 10 times this year? Yeah. When am I going to take down the Christmas tree? That's a good question. We thought maybe we'd leave it up until the end of January. Yeah, yeah. I don't have an answer to that, but I can certainly ask Jill, and she was the one, I think, who put it all up. So I imagine that she's ready to take it down as well. So, all right. Any other questions on the sounding board? Okay. So I'm going to go over community updates. Audra, do you want to come up and just talk about the weekly update you and I had talked about, and I think that you wanted to share? Okay. Here's. Thank you.
Hello. So, with the transition of Phyllis leaving our community, I've taken on the weekly along with Beverly. She's doing a lot of the work, but we are going to. You're going to see some changes to the weekly, and I want to pose it as more of a ideas. So if you like it, don't like it, want to give criticism, I'm open to that. You can email me or drop suggestions in the suggestion box if you want. So probably in the next week or so, and probably not this week, but starting next week, you'll see some changes to the weekly, and would love to hear your thoughts on it. So, okay. While I'm up here, I just want to also chat with any new residents that moved in 2024. We are starting the homestead exemption process. As a resident of the CCRC in Florida, you do get a little benefit if you are not getting homestead exemption on another property. And I will reach out to you specifically if you are not getting it already. So, and tell you what I need. It's really a quick piece of paper that needs to be signed. This goes for any new residents that have moved in 2024, as well as anyone that has transferred to a new home within our community in 2024. So again, I'll reach out to you specifically. You'll see some information in the weekly, but if you don't hear from me, then you already have it and you don't need to do anything. So yes, Mr. Brown. Okay, so part of FLYCRA, you guys are all familiar with FLYCRA. They had lobbied at some point in the past to pass down a credit based on our taxes. And every year, depending on our tax bill, a credit is given to everyone that qualifies for the homestead exemption. So it's per residence, even though I will need a form for every resident in your home. It's per residence, and it's about $500 on average. And that generally comes it will come as in a credit on your monthly bill, usually on your December statement. Okay. Yep. Yep. Did somebody else have a question over here? Okay. Well, you know where to find me if you do. So.
Thanks, Audra. And then annually, we also provide you with a medical deduction letter. And oftentimes we don't communicate that quickly enough before we start getting asked about it. So that also comes at the end of January as well, right?
So that does come from LCS, so it's not dictated by us. And generally it is by the first week of February. So I know a lot of people like to get their taxes done early. Unfortunately, we do have to wait for that portion to come from our corporate office, and we will distribute that as soon as we get it.
Okay. And for those of you who don't know what the medical deduction is, it basically provides you, because we are who we are and we're regulated by Chapter 651, and essentially what you have purchased is an insurance product, you can write a percentage or an amount of that off of your taxes. And I'm told that it works best when you itemize, and some people, don't think that it's beneficial, and others do. So that's something that you would just discuss with your accountant. But it is another nice benefit of living in a community. Any questions on that? All right. Okay, so other community updates. On the 21st and 22nd, we are going to be hosting Roberta's boss. So Roberta is my boss, and her boss's name is Kyle Exline. And so he is bringing his business unit to Florida for their annual training and kind of strategic planning session. And they're going to be working out of the Cove on Tuesday, January 21st, and then Wednesday, January 22nd. Don't worry, we're not paying for anything. They are paying for their travel and all of that, but we're really delighted to be able to host them here in Florida, and we'll have some other regional support people attending that meeting as well. You probably have seen in the weekly updates where the bocce ball court, croquet, and putting, it's a green project. It's green, it's moving forward, and we're thinking that it will be done by April 1st. So we're really, really excited about that. Thank you to the residents who helped us kind of navigate that and provided us feedback on that. I'm going to be away next week, all next week in Des Moines. Also, I guess I could have blamed this on that too, right? My growth up there, going to Des Moines for the week. So the other thing is it last week's weekly, the Horseshoe Pit, I shouldn't say pit, right? Horseshoe Pit, okay. Helen Lavery's saying it's okay, I can call it. The Horseshoe Pit really is not ready. We looked at it again, and the grass has not grown in, so it really is a risk if people are out there playing on it. I'm afraid that you'll twist your ankle or something. The gutter job at Waterside is complete. We did get some feedback from a couple of residents where a couple of the seams were not fully seamed, so they came back this week and they were working on finalizing that. Window washing should be complete with the exception of the Waterside building. So the Waterside building is currently underway. And let me just see what other notes. Wisdom Warrior Challenge. How many of you participated in the Wisdom Warrior Challenge last year? Okay, this is when your age works to your benefit. If you are over 50, you can participate in this Wisdom Warrior Challenge, and I think Marcia and Jane will provide you with some more information on that. But it is a really cool event. Everyone wins. We had a great turnout last year. It's held right here on campus. And I would just really encourage you to consider participating in that. That's going to be held on March 13th, right? Okay, the 13th or the 23rd, but just put the Wisdom Warrior up here and just seek more information on that. You can be 50 or over. Yeah. So informational meeting coming up in first week in February. And if you see Phyllis Olson, she reminded me that back in November, we did a Veterans 5K in Palm City, and she was a resident who represented Sand Hill Cove, and she took first in her age group. So if you see her, congratulate her, but it kind of went with the whole Wisdom Warrior Challenge. Okay, just a couple of other things. Landscaping priorities. Landscaping is always a hot topic, and we just had our landscaping meeting earlier this week. Just want to remind you that we have budgeted this year and several years out $110,000 in landscaping. And so our priorities right now include sod replacements, tree removal. We're going to also look at Capri Street coming into the campus and just sprucing that up. We're also going to be redoing the Mermaid Pond. Last year we did the other ponds, the Fairy Pond, the Giraffe Pond, the Sparkling Pond, just the pond itself, no landscaping around it. So just know that those are our priorities right now. Once we get through those, we will rebase and go out from there. But those are more of our immediate landscaping priorities. Any question on that? Okay. Let's see here. I'm working on just the prioritizing tile roofs. I've mentioned this before, but the owners paid for somebody to come in and just do an overall infrastructure assessment on the community. As I've communicated, the tile roofs were really came out on top as a priority. So the owners are working to prioritize what tile roofs need to go first. I'm suspecting maybe Waterside and then Gardens South. Gardens North, you're a little bit newer. You were last built. But just know that that's also in the works. A couple of other things I talked about, vehicle replacement. We also have budgeted the Waterside building. So what that means is lighting, carpet, paint. That's an all interior, and it needs it. It's the common spaces are tired, but we did budget for that, so that will be forthcoming as well. And I talked about landscaping. Okay, one last thing. As you know, in years past, LCS has been ranked #1 for J.D. Power and Associates in resident satisfaction. And I'm happy to share with you that for the 6th year in a row, they have achieved yet another that designation again. So, and that's by J.D. Power and Associates. And all the resident satisfaction information across LCS funnels up into that. So we now not only hold a 6th year, but LCS also holds the title of the most decorated, I guess you would say, in all of senior living communities, community organizations. So that's something to be pretty proud of. So, okay. Any questions on what I've said thus far? Yes. Yes. When are they doing north? Okay. They're doing Gardens North. I keep getting misinformation. So I was told that. Okay. All right. Justine, I will ask Alex. I was told that Gardens North was done. So, okay. All right. I'll follow up with Alex. Okay. Yes.
On the window washing, I know it's more difficult on the 2nd floor. Mine hasn't been done in 4 years, so it was a real challenge, I'm sure.
Okay. So we could potentially. Okay. Okay. Right. Remember, they're not removing the screens, but what I've been told is that the process, and I've had some residents say that it actually works. But if you're not satisfied with that, I can absolutely circle back with Alex. What I would say is I would encourage you to call Alex. I'll make note of the two of you, but if there's somebody else, please feel free to reach out to Alex and they'll go back and redo it. The long-term goal, obviously, is to replace these windows with windows that are 1, impact resistant, and 2, that can open inward where we can just clean ourselves. I mean, this is a nightmare. So I feel your pain. Yes, Mr. Malish.
I talked to Alex this morning, and they started cleaning the upstairs unit, and it's on the inside where the little atriums are located, and he was doing the 2nd story, and he said he was going to work down one wing, and then he'd turn around and come back and do the upstairs on the outside.
Okay. So they do, I know that they are starting on the upper because obviously water runs down, and so that makes sense, but okay. They did a great job, Sherry Corbett says, so through the screen. That's good. Okay. Okay.
So someone tried to clean them before on the outside, looking into our pond area.
Okay.
They need cleaning very.
Okay. I made note of Malish. Mr. Uttermark?
Yes, when they set up the window washing, they have the whole location, and then they do areas around there, so but they create quite a mess on the sidewalk.
Okay,
Everybody is tracking through the mud already.
okay. Maybe we need to go back and rethink this new vendor. I actually have heard that the end result is better than what we've had in the past. The best ever in 13 years. Okay. All right. Well, all right. Anything else on window washing? All right. On to something more positive. We have been, Phyllis Leclerc left us in November, and Robert left us on November 1st. And so we have been actively recruiting for those positions. And the Director of Plant Operations position, as I've previously reported, we did internal, external, and we really, our internal candidate blew the external candidate out of the water. So I'm going to announce these internal promotions, and I'm going to start with Heather Stone as our Life Enrichment Manager. Why don't you stand up? So, a little bit about Heather. So, I was calculating this. She doesn't even look 29, does she? I know I shouldn't have said that, but I was looking at your resume. Heather has 29 years in the hospitality industry. That's phenomenal. She worked at Devonshire. Many of you know Devonshire. It's one of our main competitors located in Palm Beach Garden. She joined Sandhill Cove as a server in 2012. She has 13 years here at Sandhill Cove. She was promoted to guest services coordinator in February of 2023, so almost 2 years. I didn't finish my word there. She is a foundation scholarship recipient. She received a bachelor's degree in healthcare management in 2022, and she is currently enrolled in a master's of business administration with an emphasis on healthcare management, and will graduate when?
I believe the end of this year.
The end of this year. She will transition to her new role in February, and she will report to Shauna Monahan. So what we're trying to do with life enrichment and health and wellness is bring those two departments together because they both impact the health and wellness of the community. And so we are really delighted that Heather did an amazing job at her interview. She put together just an incredible PowerPoint. You would all have been so proud of her, right, Shauna? And one of the things that I took from her slide was aging is a time to embrace new experiences while continuing to nurture our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. And there was so much good in her presentation, but as I was trying to portray who she is and what her philosophy on aging and health and wellness, I thought for me that resonated to me. So Heather, and to the residents, thank you for believing in Heather and contributing to the scholarship, the foundation, because your dollars translate into people like Heather that we can promote from within and grow from within. And so just congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. Did you have something you wanted to say? No? Okay. Now this, of course, creates some challenge at the desk. So Audra is going to be working on that as well. You can't see her face right now, but she's sticking her tongue out at me. And then She's crying. And then secondly, our new plant operations director is Kurt LaPlante. So come on up here. So when I went back and I pulled his, hopefully it's all true. You didn't lie on your resume, did you? Okay, all right. So when I went back and looked at Kurt's resume and his employment record, I wanted to note that he served in the United States Marine Corps. And, you know, as I think about that, and when I've worked with other individuals who have worked in the service, you bring an element of policy and procedure and regiment. And I can see that in you. And I was reminded by that when I was reviewing that. So Kurt also has a security background of 18 plus years. I did not know this, but Kurt worked at the Pentagon. Did you know that Kurt worked at the Pentagon? Kurt worked at the Pentagon as a program security manager, and he can tell you what that means. But prior to working at Sand Hill Cove, he was at La Posada, which is another one of our competitors, and he was there for 8 years. And he has worked here at Sand Hill Cove since 2016 as a life safety and security manager. So when I asked Robert Kozicki about did he have anyone that he would recommend for his replacement, he said Kurt. And I'm like, really, Kurt? But Kurt applied for the position, and we interviewed him. And actually, Kurt's former boss, Sam Topping, who is at our corporate office now, also endorsed Kurt for this position. So Kurt will report directly to myself, and I am delighted to have you as our new director of plant.
Thank you.
Yes. But now, just because he's been here for 8 years, you still have to go easy on him. There's still this transition period because now he has to backfill his position. And so there's going to be, you know, some time that he needs to get up to speed as well. So, yeah. Did you want to say anything?
No, but if you do need anything in the meantime, I am here to help you any way I can.
Did you hear that? Okay. All right. I love promoting from within. I think it's really good for morale, especially, you know, when you have people such as Heather and Kurt that are qualified and have showed great growth in their career path here. So we're delighted that you have accepted. Okay. All right. Anything else? Shauna, do you need to say anything? You're good? You're good? Everyone healthy? You're staying well? Oh, oof, yeah. I saw the other day on ABC or CBS Morning News where there's a quadfecto going on, and I think they said RSV, COVID, neurovirus, and the flu. And then somebody said the other day, what about the bird flu? I'm like, well, I guess that would be, what would you call that? I don't know. But stay healthy, most important thing. If you're not feeling well, let us know so we can help you. But also don't infect your neighbors. Stay home. You know, we'll bring you good food and hydration to keep you well. So, all right. Anything else? Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year.